Ancient DNA with no ties to modern humans. A 300,000-year-old skull that doesn't belong to any known human species. Police tracking crop circles like crime scenes, and a pot shop that wants Bigfoot photos in exchange for blunts. When history starts glitching, time runs backwards, and curses shut down Macbeth mid-rehearsal, it's not just weird. It's Paranormal 60 News weird. We've got that, plus a brand new Paratunes and more special surprises next, right here on the Paranormal 60 News. Good evening, Darklings. We have a lot to cover tonight, and we've got a lot of people joining us. It is exciting to have them with us, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, the paranormal detective and author of so many different paranormal books, from How to Be a Paranormal Detective to Diaries of a Paranormalist, Messages from Mothman, Detecting the Paranormal, Roswell, the After Action Report, and his own podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Greg, the paranormal detective Lawson. Good evening, Greg.
Hey, old buddy. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Chachi gave me a secret. They were running a special down here in Texas for, Colonel Taylor.
What is Colonel Taylor for those of us that still drink out of a wine bottle that says Mad Dog 2020 on it?
So Colonel Taylor is kind of Pappy is up here, and then Blanton's is here, and then Colonel Taylor is here, and then
it's like saying
Eagle Rare is here, and then
is it a bourbon? Is it a scotch? Is it a whiskey?
It's a bourbon.
Tequila? Is it urine from a hobo?
That would be great. But that's it's very, very smooth, really smooth whiskey.
Nice. Get it at Costco, I'm guessing, if Chachi
clued you in on it. Oh no. You gotta go and actually knock on the cash register and go, hey, do you have any allocated liquors behind the counter? And they'll go,
it's like speakeasy.
We sure do. We have 3 bottles of Colonel Taylor. And I'll say, give them all to me.
Colonel Taylor was my favorite on the Planet of the Apes, by the way.
Colonel Taylor's great.
Speaking of the Planet of the Apes, ladies and gentlemen, she may be the last human left to help populate the earth at some point because she is so well preserved from the many different candy concoction drinks she's created. The one, the only, the genetically modified and microphone off sweet tea.
It's on. It's fine. I don't know that I could even bear a child if I tried.
Not with that attitude.
Thank you. That's what I've always said. It's all about attitude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking tonight, sweetie?
I'm gonna pretend that I am drinking Mad Dog 2020 because I don't have anything interesting.
What are you actually drinking? Is the question.
A peach vodka with some orange juice and some seltzer.
That sounds delicious. What do you call it?
It's delightful. Mad Dog 2020.
I would not have known that there's a generic version of Mad Dog 2020.
There's not.
Knocked off line. There we go. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Strange things abound. You know why? Because we are taxing the server tonight, because it's not just the 3 of us as it normally is. Ladies and gentlemen, my right-hand man with the plan, Scotchy, is back. Chachi.
Dave, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
He's back.
I know. How exciting. Chach, good to see you.
What a week, Dave. First off, I am exhausted by the explanation by Greg of that bourbon.
That was scary. And you knew what he was talking about. I could see the confusion on your face backstage.
I had no idea where he was going, but you did a good job, Greg. So good job there. Dave, I'm tired. 2 days in a row, 2 podcasts in a row with 2 of my favorite hosts in a row. It's been a heck of a week. And then, not to bring the show down,
Mhm.
2 great musicians passed in 2 days.
Oh,
Right? And now I'm concerned because where do they come in?
3.
you did a podcast last night? What'd you do? That sounds fun.
Greg Lawson's got a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Right.
No, you were on the Monsters Lounge. I learned.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
That show is always 60 minutes. Always. I've watched all the episodes. They are always 60 minutes.
No
which
more.
one is this? Which one is
Last night, 70, 75, bleeding into 80. I'm like, oh, man. This
I'm
feels
starting
like
to notice a
Paranormal
trend when it
62.
comes. Yeah, there's a trend when you're involved on these programs, Chachi.
He does a lot of deep research that he has to cover, so we want to give him as much time as possible.
Is that what you call drinking nowadays? Deep research?
Yes, it is.
If you want the Cliff's Notes of the Guinness Book of World Records, watch the show last night. I
Yep.
told you all the important ones in one
Mhm.
episode.
Wow.
You really did.
What are you drinking tonight, Chachi? What's your elixir of love?
Well, I picked up a bottle yesterday of a Glenlivet Fusion Cask, and there's a little bit left. Like I said, it was yesterday, so
You picked it
I
up
like
yesterday and that's all that's left?
I'll fit it. Well, I remember I was on her show last night.
Right.
So Fusion Cask is just like all the other leftovers of all the other cask, and they just
They
The
put it in a
garbage
bourbon
whiskey?
cask, and then a rum cask, and then they put it in a bottle, and then they put it in my belly.
Oh,
ah,
they did that?
I'm pretty sure that
They
goes
did
in
that.
your
That's
liver.
right, sweet tea.
Wow.
Pretty
I
sure
can
that's
already
the
hear.
liver you're talking about.
I can hear the sound of keyboard warriors hammering away right now. Am I tuned into a paranormal podcast or is this an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? I'm not
Yes.
quite sure. Yeah, a little bit
All
of
of
both.
the
Paranormal.
above.
Do you?
Wait, hold on. Do you hear what sounds like a chopper landing on my front lawn?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that can only mean one thing. Please
No.
put your hands together for America's greatest
Oh,
hero. Ladies and gentlemen,
oh,
here all the way from some
What?
undisclosed location, the Colonel is back amongst us.
We didn't
Wow.
even know.
I
We
know.
had no
that is
idea.
nice inside of a chopper. Jesus.
You
What?
know, Dave calls and he says, "You know what? You're going to be on the show tonight, and you're going to be on the show tonight." So,
Yeah.
when you get that call, you have no
Hmm.
choice. Right?
And the
No.
audio's a little weak because I haven't let him in. I'm making him talk to me through the window
Yeah.
of my house.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because God knows where he's been.
Oh, awesome. You know,
Places.
Greg still has that beautiful purple tint,
Some things never
and
change.
you know, nothing's changed, obviously.
Nothing.
And it looks like Chachi's switched to a different keg of alcohol within the last 24
Can
hours.
you imagine if they had kegs of scotch?
Yes.
Oh my
They're
god.
called casks.
Oh,
Colonel, I have to tell you, you saw this amazing graphic that the White House sent over to us.
Beautiful. Yeah, I told him to send that one. That they just drafted that up earlier this morning. So I said, yeah, let's go ahead and use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm glad they used it.
Dave?
It's very
I
American.
like very
It's listen, where have you been? Have you been napping at I don't know, bunks? What do you I don't
Yeah,
understand what you do, so
last time I checked, when I woke up this morning, I was in Alabama. So that's where I am right now. And so you know, that's kind of where I'm hanging out. Not known as the whiskey center of the world as where I was for a good time period, but it's pretty nice. Weather's not bad.
did
I
you
wanted-
reverse age? You look younger.
I do, really? I was
Yeah.
about to say, Dave looks like he needs to eat a sandwich. What is going on there, man? Good Lord.
I've just taken to drinking cask strength whiskeys, and
Yeah.
I'm losing weight like crazy. And it's not a diet for everyone. Real quick,
I like
before I
it,
get knocked offline on my own show again, Colonel, the White House sent over this press release image of you for us to share.
Right.
Before I could get that, I tried having AI, that's artificial intelligence, create an image for me, and the first strike was not great. This is what this is what I got. You kind of like a
Wow.
cross between a member of Kiss, the Insane
Yeah.
Clown Posse, but my favorite, I think, was attempt number 2.
Right.
Where
Okay.
I don't know where that smile or the veneers came from.
Wow.
so
It's like the
great.
opposite of Greg.
Yeah, happy
No, yellow.
and jaundiced. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
Look
fantastic.
at Greg. That's what I don't know if you've seen the toothbrush commercials now. When you take purple and put it over yellow, you end up with Chachi. That's the color that you get. Yeah.
Oh,
It's math.
they
That's
use
science.
his name specifically? That's
Specifically,
crazy.
yeah. But not yet. They're still working out the deals. We've got a lot of news to cover. We also have a brand new Paratune to get to. I want to get to this before I get knocked offline again. So before I do that, though, I do have one other pretty cool announcement to make. Here we go.
Now, during the Halloween season, the veil between the worlds gets thinner and the chills get real. Oh, so very real. Something is waiting in the dark, and it's calling your name. So answer the call this Halloween season for the Paranormal 60 presents Halloween Haunts and Hijinks, October 9th through the 12th, for a supernatural weekend you'll never forget. It's being held at the historic haunted Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. Join Dave Schrader from the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, and the host of the Paranormal 60 podcast. He's teaming up with Dalen Spratt from Ghost Brothers and Phantom Forensics. And we have heart-centered, intuitive Diet Renee for a weekend packed with spine-tingling experiences. You'll have 2 nights of live investigations and paranormal experiments, interactive workshops, gallery readings, and meet and greets, live presentations with experts themselves. This isn't just an event, it's a doorway to the unknown. So you have to ask yourself, do you dare cross it? Now, tickets are limited, so please book your Halloween Haunts and Hijinks adventure now at darknessevents.com. Again, that is darknessevents.com.
There it is.
There
Wow.
it is. And
Dave, let me
now-
ask you a question.
yes, go ahead, Craig.
Did that event just come out? Because how's that not sold out already?
It's, I haven't been pushing it much, but we've just broken it in the last week here. So I'm letting people know about it. Hopefully we'll see some people showing up. I think we're about third sold out on it already. But let me say this. I've been waiting to drop this announcement. How would you like to ghost hunt and be a part of an event with the entire Paranormal 60 news crew?
I would love that.
I can't-
More?
I can't announce that because we haven't set anything up, but I'm feeling things out. Yeah.
You got
I'm all in. Yeah, let's do that.
survey
There you
field.
go.
I've been taking the colonel's version of things. I'm going through the government redundancy plan, just asking, testing, hypothesizing, drinking, vanishing for months at a time, and then still thinking about it. So
Where
I got
would
my
such
bags
an
packed.
event?
I'm ready.
Where would such an event take place, Dave?
most likely Texas, because I can't afford to fly us all out wherever you're going. So maybe just the Chachi compound. I don't know.
Oh,
Let's go. Big news coming out of Minnesota. Aside from what you've just heard, even more big news. News
What?
that's even bigger than Marty's smile. AI
Impossible.
I know it's true. Ladies and gentlemen, Macbeth. It's not a myth.
No.
Macbeth has a long history of being cursed. Legend says the witches' incantations are genuine curses, and speaking the name Macbeth inside a theater is a no-no. And rumor has it the Rough Magic team experienced this firsthand. A Minneapolis theater company has slammed the brakes on a production of Shakespeare's Macbeth, and depending on who you ask, it might not be a coincidence. Rough Magic Performance Company abruptly postponed its opening night performance of the classic tragedy, scheduled, of course, for this Friday the 13th, citing a growing list of eerie complications that some believe are tied to the infamous Macbeth curse. How cool is that? For those unfamiliar, Macbeth isn't just known for its bloody betrayals and haunted ambitions like this show. It also comes with a legendary theatrical superstition. Many in the performing arts world avoid even saying the play's name inside the theater, referring to it instead as the Scottish play. The reason? A long, unsettling history of accidents, injuries, and even deaths linked to productions of the play dating back to the early 1600s. Rough Magic's decision to pull the show came just hours before curtain after multiple unsettling issues reportedly plagued rehearsals. The company hasn't exactly released details about what went wrong, but it's clear the decision wasn't taken lightly. In a statement, the team said they were exploring a new path forward, and the production is now on indefinite hold. The legend surrounding Macbeth is more than backstage lore. Some believe the Shakespearean play may have included authentic witchcraft incantations in the play's infamous opening scene, double, troil and trouble and stuff like that. Is it troil? Toil? Trouble? Broil? Broil and bubble? Which has long been rumored to invite bad luck or even draw in malevolent forces. But the pattern of mishaps attached to the play is enough to make even the most skeptical actor take pause. For a paranormal perspective, there's something fascinating about a play written over 400 years ago, still allegedly wielding influence in the modern world. Is it mass suggestion and energy embedded in the words themselves? Or is there something to the idea that Macbeth carries a kind of residual psychic charge, a theatrical tulpa, if you will, that disrupts reality every time it's invoked? For now, the stage remains dark in Minneapolis, but the curse of the Scottish play continues to cast a long shadow, and one that reaches far beyond the footlights. And thank you for those of you that drank along during my many stumbles and mishaps during that song.
I wasn't going to say anything, Dave, but hey, Dave, can I do a quick review of this story, okay?
Yes.
So,
The story wasn't long enough to review.
the rehearsals weren't going well. This is what I got.
Wait, hold on. Let's do this the right way. If you're going to do this, there is something that needs to be played. Hold on. Let me go.
Oh, I know what this.
It's time now for Upon Further Review.
We are so cutting edge and up to date that we don't just interview and talk about upcoming movies or movies that have been out before. We review a news story I just got done reading. Go for it, Marty.
There we go. So what I got out of this story, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
is rehearsals weren't going very well. Check. Therefore, let's go ahead and postpone the opening night. 2, wait a minute. Rehearsals really didn't go very well, and no one really cares that we postponed the first night. So let's just cancel this altogether.
Roasted.
Yep.
Wow.
That's
Dang.
how I
Said
How
that.
is it, Tressa, that your microphone is down and in front of you, and when you lift your head, you're louder than if you were speaking directly in your
Listen,
microphone?
Because my soul needs to escape and spread the word.
There you go.
She had like a boom mic standing over her.
Right? It was like, and she's like, she grabbed it and screamed into it.
Kind of
Very
like
weird.
I can do that if you'd rather I
no.
do it right into the mic. Are you sure? Because I can.
No.
Okay.
The insightful review there, Colonel. Insightful review. However, they did lose $36,000 out of pocket for not opening this Friday.
when rehearsals go south, not much you can do. $36,000.
Cut your losses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Cut your good.
By the way,
man,
I don't know if everybody picked up. There was 2 mispronunciations in that story.
Mince pronunciations.
Pronunciations, eh?
Mince pronunciations, you
Is that
say?
what I said? I have the last story of the night, everybody. Stick with us.
No, I now have the last story of the night.
Oh,
I used to have the last story. No, you said malevolent. I think it's male violent. I'm pretty sure. Look it up.
yeah, no, he's right. You're right, Chachi.
Just ignore him, Colonel. That's what we do.
Okay.
Colonel, I know you got to get going. You're only tapped in for a short time because the government only lets you out of your cell for 20 minutes a day, and you chose to spend it with us.
Oh,
Yeah, but I appreciate the order to come on, and yes, and I miss you all, and hopefully soon I will be able to come back and see you guys. Yep. Lord, that's scary.
I think I'm going to send that image to Bart L and see if he can animate it. And
Oh man.
listen, when he logs off, just put that picture right.
oh,
there.
that's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's now.
John,
That's
just
going to be my call icon whenever you call me, Marty. So once a year, it's going to pop up on my screen.
Oh,
Hey, good
Wow.
you all. Yep.
Roasted.
Lord, could I be any more jaundiced than that?
You're cutting in and out. The government needs to give you a better facility to work from.
Yeah, I thought he was just talking like that.
Yeah, no.
I just heard AOL dial up there
I
a
have
moment.
cut my mouth as well, so that's
You've got mail.
well. Good seeing y'all. I will see you soon.
All right, Colonel. Thank you for stopping
Take
in.
care.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Oh, bye.
Yeah, don't worry. He's always
Nope.
here.
Okay.
Always here in
He's
spirit.
always with us.
All right, Greg. Speaking of always
buddy.
with us, you paranormal detective, you have the con, sir.
Oh, I'm okay. Hey, have you ever heard of Ghost in the Machine? Well, we have Ghost in the Genome. Scientists discover a lost human lineage. So here's one thing that has scientists scratching their heads. It might be just to raise eyebrows to anybody tuned into the Paranormal 60. Wow, I just read that. Deep in the Bogota highlands of Colombia, researchers have unearthed human remains that are about 6,000 years old. That alone is cool, but here's where it gets weird. No one on Earth today shares their DNA. That's right. Let's let that sink in for a little bit. A whole group of people, men, women, kids, they all lived, hunted, loved, and died, and their genetic line just poofed out of existence, gone, completely vanished from the human family tree. Scientists analyzed 21 ancient individuals from this high altitude region. These weren't just random wanderers. This was a whole population. And yet their genetic signature doesn't match any known group in South America today. There's no continuity. There's no descendants. There's no modern relatives. It's as if they are a genetic ghost story written in bone. You like that? That was pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Now, here's the kicker. Around 2,000 years ago, that whole population seems to have quietly been replaced, not by war, not by plague, just transitioned. A new group of people moved in, bringing different customs, pottery, farming techniques, and that original
Pottery? What's
disappeared.
pottery?
Pottery.
Oh, pottery. Okay, got it.
Making iPods.
Oh, got it.
Pottery.
Got it.
And that original DNA line disappeared without as much as a ripple. It's a ripple. See what I did there? So what happened? Some archaeologists are calling it a cultural replacement, but if you're like us, your paranormal brain is probably tingling a little bit. Is this one of those ancient lost civilizations that left more questions than answers? Were they wiped out by something unrecorded? A natural disaster, possibly? A cosmic hiccup? Or something even stranger? And here, a wild thought. If DNA holds energy, memory, ancestral connection, like some spiritual traditions believe, what happens when an entire genetic line goes extinct? Do their spirits still linger in the landscape, tied to a place no one remembers but them? It's eerie to think about. People completely gone and yet somehow still here, being rediscovered through strands of ancient code buried in the dirt. Colombia, it's not done talking either. Scientists are eyeing nearby regions like Venezuela and Ecuador, hoping to find more traces of this lost lineage. So keep an eye out. This ghost population might not be done whispering just yet. Back to you, Dave.
Is it just me? Or is that incredibly well read?
So
Yeah.
well.
It almost felt like he was talking to us, not with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a few words that were a little confounding,
you
but
know,
you know,
it's-
other than that,
Great.
Embellish.
Yeah.
It's artistic license.
it's like a full page of words too, and we know how hard those can be.
Yeah, they're hard.
You did good, Greg.
Very good,
Oh,
Greg.
this is so smooth. Whew.
Yeah. That is that's very
He
good.
was talking about himself.
Not to be outdone. Sweet Tea, you have a
Oh,
story to share with us.
Oh,
Where are
here
we
we
going
go.
next?
well,
Here we go.
More missing link news. That's where we're going. The Maba mystery skull. Back in 1958, a group of farmers in southern China were digging for bat poop to use as fertilizer, which frankly is already a weird enough start to any story. But what they found buried in the limestone caves near the town of Maba wasn't guano. It was a human skull, or at least something very close to one. Fast forward to today, and scientists have finally given that skull a closer look using modern CT scans. What they found? This thing doesn't match any known human ancestor. Not Neanderthal, not Homo erectus, not Homo sapiens. It's like evolution threw a bunch of traits into a blender and hit chaos smoothie. The brain case leans towards Homo erectus. The face? Kinda Neanderthal-ish. But the jaw lacks a chin, something that we modern humans usually get to brag about. And the overall vibe of this skull? How do they measure the vibe? Utter mystery. This ancient individual, now dubbed Maba 1, lived around 300,000 years ago. That puts them smack in the middle of what scientists call the muddle in the middle of human evolution, a murky stretch of time where multiple human species were wandering around Asia, bumping into each other, maybe sharing a cave, maybe more. Wink.
Bumping into each other. Huh?
And here's where it gets even stranger. The skull shows signs of a healed injury, meaning this person survived some kind of serious trauma to the head. So now we're not just dealing with an unidentified human cousin. We're talking about a survivor. Someone tough enough to take a blow to the head in prehistoric China and live to tell the tale, or at least leave their bones behind. Theories are flying. Some researchers think this individual could be a hybrid, a mix of different archaic humans who were interbreeding in the region.
Yeah,
Others wonder if Maba 1 represents an entirely unknown species that just faded out. No one knows. It just doesn't fit neatly anywhere on our family tree, which, let's be honest, sounds exactly like the kind of origin story that kicks off every ancient astronaut theory, hollow earth tale, or forbidden history rabbit hole out there. A mystery skull with no clear ancestors, showing signs of trauma, found in a cave. That's paranormal catnip. So the question remains, was Maba 1 an evolutionary dead end or a missing piece of a much stranger puzzle? Whatever the case, this skull is a reminder that the past still holds plenty of secrets, some buried in limestone, some written in bone, and some, maybe, still waiting to whisper back. Back to you, Dave.
So I'm no scientist. I know that's hard to believe.
Is that true?
Yeah, I speak so smartly in junk, but I'm going to go out on a ledge here. Yeah, look, Greg's got no chin, and that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. What is that look, Greg? Don't ever do it again. But
That hurt. And it hurt, dude.
following. So you are a descendant. We found the living missing link. I'm, again, not a scientist, but looking at the remains of the skull, saying that it doesn't have a chin. Well, it doesn't have any of the bottom of its head. So could we just assume maybe that got lost instead of it being just like...
Is that the whole thing they found?
Yeah, that's all the image I could find when I look up Maba skull.
How do we know it doesn't have a chin? That doesn't make any sense.
Right, because there's no chin. Look at it, dingling. Right there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm agreeing with you. That's it. I never saw the image, so I don't know.
But thank God for have you seen those printers? Like they scan in skulls like that, and then they can get which I've never understood how they can reproduce from a skull what this thing looks like. And people that like build it up with clay, and they're like, "Oh, this looks just like the person." That's so weird to me, because how do you know where they had a dimple from a skull? How do you know these things? It just doesn't make sense. And I know a lot of them say the skulls speak to them. Stop it, Greg. You are offending my good qualities here. But they did do a 3D print scan of the Maba 1 skull, and the image is pretty compelling.
No. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it looks just like the Colonel. That's weird. And he is often our missing link. Very weird. All right. We've got commercials to see in a moment, but first,
exciting.
Yeah, I know, it's so exciting. That's part some people actually tune in for. before we do that, Chachi, you're back. You've got a news story, and I don't want to interrupt it. So let's let you launch into your tale before the next break. And at the end of Chachi's story, a brand new Paratune. You heard me. All right, go ahead, Chachi. You're up.
Now, Dave, you and I discussed who should read this story.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the easy words and the short length, you said, Chachi, you take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long should this take?
Theoretically, 18 seconds.
18 seconds,
All right.
everyone.
No. All right, go.
Who you're looking at there is a gentleman by the name of Homo erectus.
No, that's Michael Esposito.
Wrong story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Michael Esposito.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michael didn't set out to become an EVP expert like most of us. His journey started the day he was hit by a car in Chicago and then saw a mysterious blonde man pull him to safety. No one else saw the man. No witnesses.
He's
just
not blonde.
Michael. No. He saw a blonde man. He's not a blonde man.
No, okay.
But Michael was convinced he'd been saved by something. However, he didn't believe it was entirely human. Now, that strange event opened the door to something deeper. A sound engineer by trade, Mr. Esposito began focusing on electronic voice phenomenon, and what he discovered wasn't just noise. He treats EVPs like data packets, compressed fragments of communication, possibly from beyond. By tweaking frequencies or playing them backward, voices sometimes emerge more clearly. One chilling example that he collected was near a Mayan ruin where he captured a voice whispering, "You'll be all right." Now, Esposito isn't new to weird history. He's a descendant of Alfred Vale. Everybody know who Alfred Vale is?
No.
Vicky Vale from Batman's brother.
Oh,
And the co-creator of Morse code. Bet you didn't know that, though.
I didn't.
Also, Jonathan Vale.
Uh-huh.
And Jonathan Vale,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
what did he invent?
The veil.
Absolutely nothing. He was just working with Thomas Edison on early spirit communication devices, which I'm sure you can pick up on eBay for pennies on the dollar.
Sure.
So you could say decoding ghostly transmissions runs in his family. Now, through his project, look this up, Phantom Airwaves, he's captured thousands of EVPs. This is where it gets cool. He takes them and he layers them into experimental music, archaeological recordings.
God,
I didn't see that one coming. I apologize.
Oh, boy.
I was doing so good. And paranormal investigations, including at the notorious Sally House in Kansas. Dave, have you investigated there?
I've not.
Neither have we. Maybe that's where the paranormal team goes.
No.
Yeah.
Much too small.
So, Esposito, EVPs aren't random. They're intelligent, interactive, and possibly proof that consciousness doesn't end when the body does. The only question is, it's a question I ask myself every morning. Are we really listening?
I'm sorry, what? Thank you. Very cool. And Michael Esposito reached out to me today, so we will be having him on the show in the very near future. Now, here's something. Yes, this one specific. Here's something interesting. I know none of us believe that things are just coincidence, but I received an email yesterday from a gentleman by the name of Ruben Hernandez, who has been working on taking kind of artistic license with music and infusing them with EVP.
It's time now for Paratunes. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paramix by Ruben Hernandez.
Think you're alone at night? Think again and listen.
Another day.
Wow. What do you think? Yeah, look at Chachi's raving.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So that's Ruben. It's experimental music infused with actual EVP. Pretty cool, Ruben. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love it. And we'll be talking to Ruben on an upcoming episode as well about his work and what he decides to put in and how and what kind of came to mind. I just think it's interesting. Two guys at two different times both reached out to me about this, and they're both coming at it from different angles. Pretty interesting. So
I love that so much. That's great.
So there you have it. Look at that. Chachi, you're back and you bring the music, you bring the beat. It had, you know what it had? Especially the kickoff of it. Look here, I'm going to play just like a few seconds of the very beginning again. Listen.
Think you're alone at night? Think again and listen.
That's totally got like 1980s Day and Dawn of the Dead vibe music from the soundtrack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
Come on, get out of here.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I dig it. I dig
a little touch of Life of the Thrill Kill Cult thrown in. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means. Sounds like you're speaking Japanese. Are
Yeah,
those real words?
Is Ruben a musician, or is this something he does on the side? Do you know, Dave?
You know what? We're just gonna have to find out when he comes on the show. Chachi, stop pressuring me. This high pressure nonsense needs to stop, or you can just not come back to the show for another 3 weeks.
Is he here now? Can you put him on camera?
Yeah. We have to take a break. We'll come back. We've got more exciting things to share with you, our lovely Darklings, right here on the very best in paranormal talk radio. I'm Dave Schrader. This is my Paranormal 60 news crew.
Hey everybody, it's me, Bigfoot, and boy do I have something to tell you. So there I was, deep in the forest, minding my own business, snacking on berries, avoiding tourists, and trying to stream the live video of the Paranormal 60 podcast. Notice I said trying. But thanks to my old cell carrier, no signal, or slow and spotty at best. And worst of all, the astronomical bills. Now, I might be a magical beast, but I still got a budget. That's when I stomped my way over to Mint Mobile. Man, that Ryan Reynolds is turning me. And Mint Mobile plans were starting at just $15 a month. Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. Yup, even works here in the woods. Don't ask how. I know nothing of your human sorcery or satellites. Either way, now I can FaceTime the Chupacabra with zero lag. You ever try explaining roaming fees to a Wendigo? It doesn't end well. Mint Mobile lets you keep your own phone, your own number, and all your contacts, so I didn't even lose Mothman's digits. Plus, no cryptic contracts or shady surprise charges. I use Mint Mobile, and if you've seen my footprint, you know I don't make small decisions. So listen, humans, this summer, skip breaking the bank, and you're back hauling in another overpriced bill. Head on over to mintmobile.com/P60 and start saving like a legend. That's mintmobile.com/P60. There's a link for it in today's program guide. Oh, and here's the legalese. Upfront payment of $45 for just 3-month 5 gigabyte plan required, which is equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only. Then, full price plan options are available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right. I've got some exciting news. For those of you that are into the paranormal, and you're always saying, Dave, you're always on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast, you're never near us. When are you going to be anywhere near me? Well, I've got some good news for you. Yeah. 2025 Illinois Paranormal Conference, July 12th. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., I'm going to be in Rockford, Illinois, along with Richard Estep, Tobias Whalen, Larry Eisler III, AJ Gutierrez, Robin Davis, and Ted Williams, and so many other great speakers. That are going to be a full day of fun and investigations. We would like to see you come on out and spend some time with us there. We also have the Paranormal Rockdown event at Broadhead Manor in Wisconsin coming up July 18th and 19th. That's going to be a lot of fun. Again, so many fantastic speakers and your chance to come on out and hang out with us. And then for you on the East Coast who are thinking, Dave, you're just never here enough. I'm going to Gettysburg. but it sounded a lot like Sasquatch.
Yeah, how'd that
Gettysburg
happen?
Battlefield Bash is taking place. John Zaffis, the godfather of the paranormal, will be on hand. Daniel Klass will be there. Daryl Marston, myself, Shane Pittman, the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, Brian and Rochelle will be on hand, and other great speakers. So it's going to be fantastic. I hope that you get a chance to come out and see me. That's just coming up in the next month and a half. So please go check out darknessevents.com. That's darknessevents.com. Come on out and be a part of these fantastic events and all the others that you get a chance to visit. I also want to thank all of our sponsors and advertisers you hear on the show. Please take just a few moments to give some love to those people that are actually following through, sponsoring this program, whether it is Mint Mobile or Factor Food or whatever. Just please take a few moments. I'm telling you, I only support and respect the best. You're going to love these companies. They take care of us. They take care of you, and they're able to keep this show on the air. So please support the sponsors that support us. Let's get back to it. We've got more news stories because this is, after all, the Paranormal 60 News.
You sound just like Bigfoot.
That's
No.
crazy.
He sounds like me.
It's so weird. Oh,
I noticed on that Gettysburg flyer, you were
Yeah.
the only one without a shirt on. Why was that?
yeah.
I like to, when I'm there, I like to live as though I was on the battlefield that day, delivering cold drinkable water to all of the embattled veterans, because I was so old at that time. They only wanted like 15-year-olds out there fighting. So I just would have been the Gunga Din.
That was the 15-year-old's view.
Yeah.
They
just
they
me
didn't let kids wear shirt. I don't
No,
understand.
no, I'm the old guy. So I had to take my shirt off so I wouldn't get shot. It's like wearing it's like waving a white flag. My skin is so pale.
Oh, I get it.
Like the drummer, right?
Right.
They never shot the drummer.
Right. So yeah, because that always showed them where you are and when you're coming. So they kept him alive. I'm no war specialist, but that's what I think was going on. This news story I think is really kind of interesting and fascinating. That's why we're about to share it. Science fiction gives way to science fact, my friends. All right, this one sounds like it was ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie, or maybe something you'd expect in a dream after binging the X-Files all night. But it's real. Scientists have created something they're calling a time mirror. Yeah, not a mirror that shows your reflection, but a mirror that reflects waves back through time. Here's how it works. Researchers at City University of New York built a special strip of copper lined with tiny switches and capacitors. These aren't your average electronics. They're engineered to flip the properties of the copper in an instant, faster than the blink of an eye. And when they fire it just right, electromagnetic waves, radio waves in this case, hit the sudden change and bounce not backward in space, but backward in time. So let that settle in. They literally forced a wave to reverse itself in time. It sped up, changed pitch, and essentially echoed from the future into the past, which this is something I think is exciting to talk about. Chachi's yawning. Greg's scratching his chin like he's bored.
No. I absolutely was not. I swear, I was just thinking about that.
Oh, really? This is the
Back in time, back in my day, they didn't have such confangled
I think
things.
you swear. Listen, okay?
listen, hang on. This is what I've been talking about. What hauntings may be are not just reflections from the past coming forward, but the forward coming back.
You've said this so many times.
Yeah.
Because
And
time is
it's
fake.
crazy. But the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, oh, I think you might be right.
Oh, I'm on to something.
I know
Or I
you are.
should be on something.
Oh,
Now, from a scientific standpoint, though, this is wild because we usually think of time as one way. But this experiment proves that under the right conditions, we can cause time to fold, or at least let a signal loop back in a way that completely defies how we experience it. It's not a time machine, but it's the next weird thing over on the menu. What could this mean in the real world? Which is a great question. Scientists think time mirrors could eventually help us manipulate signals, scramble or unscramble information, eliminate distortion, maybe even improve imaging systems. But that's just the safe academic stuff. Let's lean into the strange now, as we do on the show.
yes, please.
If humans could build a time mirror, Could nature already have them?
Mm,
Think about those places
mhm.
where time seems to ripple. Old battlefields, haunted forests, ancient stone ruins where people say they hear voices, see flashes of the past, or feel stuck in a loop. What if instead of ghosts, they're experiencing, wait for it, wait for it,
Uh,
natural time reflections, a wave of history bouncing off something we don't understand yet? I am so ahead of my curve, folks. I don't know if you know this, but my head is expanding exponentially with the amount of genius that I have shoved in this egg-shaped Vincent Price looking melon of mine.
where do
Oh,
you buy
God.
hats?
I've been talking about this for like a decade. Science has been listening to the show, and they're finally like,
Mhm.
let's build a capacitor that can test this idiot's theory. And now they're like, oh my God, this idiot might be right. So when they refer to the idiot, that will be me, just so you're all clear.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, I figured that anyway.
So what if EVPs, deja vu, or shadowy figures walking the same hallway at night are just the echoes in a natural time mirror? Not spirits, exactly, but trapped moments skipping backward like a scratched record bleeding through. The implications are massive. And honestly, science is a little terrifying. I think it's amazing. We say time is just one thing you can't outrun, but now it turns out under the right conditions, you might be able to send it back at least a little. So the Rolling Stones were right. Time is on our side, folks. That's an
Dave,
exciting news story.
If you don't mind me asking,
Go.
you just said a lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
very many words.
we're
So
we're at that
many.
point in the show where I start to really
Really
blaze
get into it.
philosophical here.
Yeah.
When you pass,
Mhm.
what are you most afraid you're going to not see?
My loved ones.
No, I was talking more of an event. I'm sorry. Like, damn, I wish I was here to see spaceships or landing on the moon.
yeah.
Like, what part of history are you going to be most disappointed you didn't get to see?
When we all come together under the Galactic Federation and money is of no use, we all work together and we go out to space, the true final frontier.
No,
To
that's
seek
what
out strange new worlds and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
I did not expect him to give us a monologue, but that's fair. Okay.
no, that's actually what is waiting for us. So you're not going to miss it. It's fine.
I will if I'm dead, is I think.
No,
what
no,
Chachi-
because that's what it is. That's what the afterlife is. Doy.
I don't think the afterlife is space travel.
It's nothing but.
I've read the travel pamphlets, and that's not even mentioned.
I
There's a
don't
lot
think
of
you're at the
water
right
parks.
ones.
A lot of water parks in the afterlife.
Yeah, there are.
Dave
And
loves
some
water
caves.
Space water parks.
Yeah. I don't do water parks because I can't find one of those swim shirts that are big enough for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
after
so
seeing
worried.
that picture of you in Gettysburg, I can see why.
You're
What?
kind of hurtful. That's all I'm going to say.
What is that?
Let's just let's bring this back
There
up.
we go.
There we go. Let's bring it back up. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2028 gubernational candidate,
Wow.
the
That
Colonel.
goes back to like one of the first 25 episodes, I think.
I think it was
That
like
was
the
the first
first
episode. Yeah.
That's really
first episode we had the governor, the Colonel on. He read the news. Our pundit of political whatever,
Policy.
he came out with gubernational.
Oh my
I
gosh.
That
love
was
him.
the best. That was
Yeah.
the best.
That was pretty good. Hey, welcome to all of our new viewers, all of our new listeners. Thank you. We appreciate you being here, spending some time with us Wednesday nights and Monday nights. And remember, Sunday nights, you can join me on the Paranormal 360. That's right, a brand new radio show that's been out for a year. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, you can also subscribe and get that free podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just look up Paranormal 360 and you'll be able to check out all of the past shows. And what's nice is when they remove all the commercial breaks, it's like 35 minutes an hour. So you get 2 hours worth of shows in about 70 minutes that you can listen to on your drive in and out of work, at the gym, while you're brushing your teeth, apparently, according to what Chachi was just doing. I'm not sure how that all works out, but exciting
This
stuff.
isn't brushing your teeth.
Yeah. Greg,
Hey, buddy.
you have the con, sir.
Thanks, man. Hey, can you have Bonsai Warrior give me a call when you get a chance?
Okay, sure. Let me
I'm
just
pretty sure
pass
that
along love
there's a
messages for
man
you.
crush going on there.
Yeah.
Please have him call me. I've been trying to reach out to him. He doesn't respond. It's
Yeah.
If I could just piggyback real quick, Bonsai Warrior, yes, Jenny and I will be at all those events that Dave just announced. So yes, we will see.
But
you
you're
there.
not on the pictures, so I can't announce.
Right, but I'm doing that right now, so it's fine.
Wait a minute.
It's
She's
fine.
going to Gettysburg and Rockford?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't invite her.
No, you didn't.
blame
It's
me.
a free country.
Is
Did
it?
you guys know Greg and I
Nope.
went to Wells a couple
This is a
weeks
free
ago and did
country.
some investigating?
What?
Like it's all
Everyone's talking at once, and I can't hear any of you. Greg, would you read your story, please? Jeez.
Geez, sure. I'd be glad to.
Wow.
Speaking of crying, cries about crop circles from English law authorities. All right. Well, it's summer in England, and that can only mean one thing: tea, tourists, and crop circles showing up like clockwork in the fields of Wiltshire. Now, you Americans might say Wiltshire, but I've traveled a little bit, and it's Wiltshire. That's how it's pronounced. This year, it's not just the farmers taking notice. The local police have officially weighed in, and they're not amused. According to the Wiltshire Force, these formations aren't just pretty patterns for paranormal fans to photograph. They're a real problem. We're talking trespassing, crop damage, drone invasions, and even people faking charity collections just to get a closer look. So now the crops are asking the crops. Oh, Jesus.
The crops are asking.
Oh, that's weird.
Now,
Interesting.
the
yeah.
cops, that would be the law enforcement professionals over there.
Mhm.
The
Huh.
cops are asking the public to report any suspicious activity around the crop circles, basically treating them like a crime scene. And to be fair, for the farmers, it is a crime scene. Their property is getting trampled, their crops are flattened, and strangers are showing up with cameras, equipment, and maybe the occasional tinfoil hat.
The
Occasional tinfoil hat.
Mhm.
Yum,
Don't
yum,
you have
yum,
to
yum.
be part an occasion?
Hey, let's be honest.
All right.
This isn't
Yeah.
just about stomping down wheat.
Okay.
This is Wiltshire we're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
This is the beating heart of the crop circle country. You've got ancient stone circles, ley lines, burial mounds, chalk horses. This land radiates old energy. And every summer, like clockwork, the formations return. Now, the skeptics will say it's just people with boards and string pulling off late night stunts. And sure, some of them are, but there are those sightings, strange lights in the sky, mists forming just before the crop circle appears, that weird static feeling in the air when you walk across a fresh crop circle, not a fresh one. You know what I'm talking about. Circles.
I
And
held it in
design-
as long as I could.
yeah. Stories of the design forming in seconds with no footprints, no signs of entry or exits. You tell me, prank or is it something else? And here's the fun twist. Every time authorities publicly try to shut down or brush it off, it only adds to the mystery. It's like the phenomena pushes back, louder, bigger, bolder. The symbols keep coming. Some of them impossibly intricate, some even resembling mathematical code or astronomical charts. So yeah, Wiltshire police want people to stop trespassing, but maybe, just maybe, the land wants to say something or something through the land. Either way, you've gotten flattened barley, buzzing drones, confused law enforcement officers, and crop circles that keep showing up like they've got a message to deliver. And I don't know about you, but I'll be watching those fields a little closer this summer from now on. Back to you, Dave.
I had AI break down those crop circles. Turns out the aliens just want to know if they could talk to us about our auto insurance.
Listen, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. We need to take our final break of the evening. Stay tuned.
Thank
We've got a sweet tea story. We've got Chachi's final story of the night
I
and
might
a
not be able
bonus,
to do it, Dave.
a,
I'm sorry.
a bonus mind bender story. And that's all coming
Hit
up
it,
your
Josh.
way
Come on, hit it.
right here on the Paranormal 60 News. A vampire in Rhode Island?
A UFO crash in Connecticut?
A flying moose in Maine?
A haunted bridge that calls your name?
New England is weird.
Really weird.
Wicked Strange by Jeff Belanger and Frank Grace is your ticket to the bizarre. Ghosts, monsters, urban legends, and roadside oddities you won't believe until you see them.
So pre-order now on Amazon. It drops September 2nd.
Assuming the Black Dog of West Peak doesn't get you first.
Let's get strange.
Wicked Strange. Pre-order your copy now on Amazon. Welcome back to the program. This is the Paranormal 60 News. I am your lead anchor, Dave Schrader. How do I know? Because I gave myself that title. Joining me, the Paranormal 60 News crew, and it is time now for us to turn our attention down there to that little corner of our planet known as Sweet Tea Universe. She's got a story to share. Where are we going for your tale of weirdness?
I'll tell
Tea?
you. We're going to Japan. Law enforcement cracks down on psychics in Japan. So here's one that reads like a cautionary tale from the other side. But this one happened in Japan. Tokyo police just cracked down on a group of 8 fortune tellers who set up an online psychic website promising clients they'd hit the jackpot with lottery numbers and pocketed over $350,000 in the process. One elderly victim paid more than $50,000 across 350 transactions before someone finally flagged it to the authorities. But this isn't just goofy quackery, it's heavy fraud. These folks weren't offering vague tarot readings or energy balancing. They were selling almost guaranteed lottery wins, demanding frequent payments and raking in thousands before anyone realized the pulse was fake. From a paranormal perspective, here's the twist. Fortune tellers have a long legacy of walking the edge between legitimate intuition and manipulative fraud. That line gets even blurrier online, where whispers of secret energies or quantum luck can sound convincing until your bank account's empty. In Japan, the police treated it seriously, labeling it criminal. And now the others are wondering, if they could promise certain lottery wins, what else could they claim? Soul cleansings, curse removals, past life revelations, and the potential for psychological and financial harm is huge. So while the cops handle the legal side, we have to ask on Paranormal 60 News, where's the line between real psychic insight and con artist manipulation, especially in the digital age?
Jesus.
Hold on real quick.
We all need a sip after that.
Mhm,
Wow.
Yeah. It's a rough one.
And the word
With
that's
easy
was
words.
digital
Yeah.
age?
Yeah, listen, they're all easy words. I'm just bad at this. How do we guard our curiosity about the unknown without falling into someone else's trap of fabricated mysticism? One thing's for sure. If someone guarantees you a supernatural fortune, you might want to treat it like, well, fake fortune telling. Keep your senses sharp and your wallet safer. That sentence doesn't make sense to me, but yeah.
Very good.
Back to you, Dave.
Interesting.
I guess. I don't.
Yeah, it's so hard. I keep hearing people, we got to clear out we got to drain the ponds of these bad mediums and psychics. How do you know what's bad? I also, here was the big issue for a while. If they're charging for things like removing curses. Now, the concept was Chachi, I can remove that curse. What I need from you is I need you to go pick out a white candle and I need you to send me $100 bill, of which I will light the candle. I will light the $100 bill. I want you to infuse on that $100 bill your negativity. Anything that's we're gonna burn this. So that was a theory that worked, right? I mean, the concept is the same as things that are bothering you. Write it on paper, get it out of your body, then burn it, right? So I get the concept of giving up something in order to get something back. By giving up the $100 bill, by burning it, you're essentially giving it to the god or gods in order to free yourself of the curse. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people that really kind of overstepped that and did horrible things. And at what point, and I know there are a lot of mentally disturbed people that will just keep dumping money in hopes of having something change. I don't know. I mean, at one point, what is the line we should draw? How do we define how it actually works? And, you know, if somebody's willing to pay for something, even though they're not getting the results, is it law enforcement's job to stop them?
Okay, first off, like if you're paying to get winning lottery tickets, numbers, whatever, why are those people just not using the numbers? Why are they giving them away? They don't have the winning lottery numbers.
You don't know that.
ask. I do. I know this for a fact.
It never seems to work for the psychic or medium. They told me
Right.
when they place the bet, it doesn't work.
Right. If
But
they
there are
don't know that,
numbers and
if they
psychics.
knew the numbers, they wouldn't be giving them away. They would just keep them and not be charging people.
Maybe in your greedy little world.
Yes. We live in a capitalist society, of course. Yes. But also, like, I understand you're providing a service. There's an exchange. There are legitimate mediums and psychics that have this service that, yeah, you need to pay for it because they are giving you a service.
Mhm.
But if you're asking for lottery numbers, that's
Well,
not
that's
gonna
my
work.
point, though. If you're calling, looking, or going to talk to somebody to get lottery numbers, and you're going to pay for that information, you're not being specific. I need the lottery numbers for this Friday. Are you just saying, can you give me the lottery numbers? You may get the lottery numbers, but they come 12 years from now,
Sure.
right? Or they were lottery numbers from 6 years ago. There's no
Sure.
discerning that. So at what point do, people, a fool and his money are soon parted, right? Isn't that kind of the concept? Greg, former law enforcement, what do you make on this? I mean, is there a certain point where law enforcement just can't hold the hand of every citizen? And if you're going to pay for things like that, you have to expect that you might not get it. And
Yeah, so like with if they're doing tarot readings or some sort of
tread
stuff
lightly.
over the phone or something like that, that's completely different.
Right.
What we're talking about is fraud.
Right.
The people are intentionally, they know they don't have it and they're trying to sell it. And that old person, 50 transactions they spent, or however many,
350 transactions.
350 transactions of $50,000. I mean, they were old. They probably didn't need that money at the end anyway. So, what? No, I mean,
another way to look at it is I was keeping them company for every one of those phone calls.
Sure. That's a
So,
lot of money.
I mean, this is obviously a scam and fraud, and that needs to be a law. But Dave, you and I have talked about this. I was raised Catholic. I saw Catholic priests interact with people and counsel people. Now they're oftentimes trained to counsel, for marriage or depression or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And oftentimes mediums are not. However, I have seen mediums help people just as well, just as much, just as impactful as a priest. And in my opinion, it's none of your damn business who you want to go talk to. And if you want to conduct a transaction for that and compensate somebody for their time, it can be for entertainment or your true spiritual belief. Now, the last thing is when you have somebody that gets you in a reading and they go, oh, that problem you were having at work and the problem you had in school and the bully that you had, there's a reason for that. It's because your family name is cursed. So for $2,000, I'll remove that curse.
Nerd curse.
That right there, it would be probably some sort of fraud going on, but it would be really hard to prove.
Right. I was going to say,
though, you got to be aware that somebody's trying to manipulate you.
But that's a point. If a medium is able to pick up on the fact that you were picked on, you were bullied, you had these things take place, and you never told them that, isn't that in effect part of what you're paying them for? They're
I can look
proving
at
that
you
to
and I know that you were just.
Dang, roasted.
Well, I've also told you that I had a nervous breakdown in 4th grade from being bullied, so it's not like you're a medium or psychic, Greg. But thanks for making light of my mental health and acuity. So.
It's what buddies
Roasted?
are for.
Yeah.
Let me
Let's
rub
hit
that. Let me rub that scab a little better.
Let me just
With
know
my
what?
with my unshaved chin.
I just want to bring this back to a happy place. If you guys don't mind. Just give it a few seconds of happiness. That's all I'm asking for.
Yay.
Okay. Let's do this. We've got, believe it or not, and Sweet Tea, I'm going to be honest with you. Being the girl from the Monsters Lounge, or I'm sorry, the woman from the Monsters Lounge, that
Thank
you're
you.
not the one that brought me this story. That in fact it had to come from Chachi.
Well, the thing is, when I send you stories, you're like, shut up, you stupid woman. And I'm like, okay, I'll not send you
Yeah,
stories
well, you know.
anymore.
No. I think what I said was, "Whoa, man, shut up."
Oh, whoa, man. Oh, I
girl.
was,
Yeah.
I was misinterpreting that. Okay.
Because the story, Chachi comes out swinging. He already brought us a music story. And then he's going to round out his stories with something. But I do want to make an announcement. Chachi has a story. I have a story. And at the very end of tonight's episode, I'm going to do something with you guys. I did it the other day. I might do this on a more regular basis with you for those of you that are listening and watching live. So stay tuned. When the news part is over, we're going to do a little thing together. And
Game
nobody
show?
has to take their shirts off. It's all good.
Oh.
All right. Chachi, congratulations. First of all, congratulations on this story. You have the con, sir.
Dave. Bottle's empty, Dave.
He just puked a little bit in his mouth.
Yeah,
He just threw
that's
up a
what
little
means
bit in his
he's
mouth.
clearing the palate, is what we call it in the alcoholic world. Yeah. All right.
First off,
Yes.
one time I got my 24-hour chip. Okay, let me be clear. Okay? Now, I am not making fun of any way of people that deal with that. I did honestly get my 24-hour chip. I carry it around with me because I know at some point I'm going to get my 48-hour chip. It's not going to be
I don't
anywhere near a
believe that.
Wednesday, but I will get the chip someday.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Dave, the other day,
Mm-hmm.
I follow you on multiple social media platforms,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I was having a bit of a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scrolling through lots of content inappropriate under 18,
Sure.
but I found something. No, no, not that.
Yeah.
Not,
Obvious.
this is business content. People under 18 wouldn't understand it.
Right.
But you did something that was 4 minutes long. And I thought to myself, that's like a quarter of a Chachi story, 4 minutes. I can watch this. So I'm hoping that what you're going to do here shortly is what I saw on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is very similar to that, but I'll be
Dance
keeping my
party?
shirt on.
The next story is something I cannot relate to. Let me be very clear. Dave, don't, because it's not true. But some of you, based upon the chat in the chatter box, I believe you will be able to relate to this. And that's why I chose this story.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
We are now up to 4.5 minutes just leading into the
Yep.
story.
Mhm.
Have you
I
guys
would
ever
like to
read
hear
a
more
book
about the story
and there's
before
like
the
a
story.
prologue to a book? This is the prologue to my story.
I got you. All right.
All right.
All right.
Bring up a graphic. That's not the one. Okay. That's what happens when you okay, here we go.
Mhm.
Monroe County, Michigan. What?
Nothing. I'm enjoying myself.
Monroe County, Michigan. Things got weird on a fishing trip when a man and his son reported seeing something massive fall out of a tree.
Hello.
They described it as a 6-foot gorilla-like creature, thick, fast, and upright, just like I like
Thick.
stories.
Yeah.
Their dog chased after it, but whatever it was vanished into the woods before they could grab a photo. Now, that's where things took a little bit of a turn, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
A local cannabis dispensary, Unique Cannabis, I do not promote them, I'm just telling the story, decided to have a little fun with the story and offered a free marijuana joint to anyone who could bring in a clear photo of Bigfoot. Yes,
That's
seriously.
like $10. Like, what? That's
think
not even
about it.
like a real price.
If you don't have any money and you need to toke up and you got the photo, that's like $1 million. So a sign in front of their shop read, "Bring photo proof of Bigfoot for a free pre-roll." Now, I'm not going to, I don't know what a pre-roll is, but based upon talking to law enforcement, I believe that is where they roll the joint before you get to the dispensary. You don't get to choose and they roll it custom.
Right.
Now, let's be honest. It's a brilliant marketing move, right? But it's also fanning the flames of an already long burning Michigan legend. This part of the story has a rich cryptid history, including the so-called Monroe Monster. And believe it or not, over 225 Bigfoot sightings have been in Michigan since the 1970s. Long, long, long before Mr. Schrader was born. Now, whether the recent sighting was an actual creature or just another chapter in a long-running folklore, the buzz is spreading, and I don't mean to have a pun.
Uh-huh.
Locals are talking, trail cams are out, and the hunt is on. Now, I want to end the story by saying the blurry photo might not get laughs online, but it might get someone a free pre-roll and a place in Monroe's modern mythology. Now, I will say this, Dave, if you don't mind me saying.
Please.
There are some rather intelligent people that
Where?
I have yet to meet them, but go for it.
What?
that have done a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
And these people believe that potentially Bigfoot is not of this world,
Mm-hmm.
but rather someone from the fairy realm who goes back and forth between the realms. And so when somebody sees them and then all of a sudden they're gone, it's not because they're a mystical creature, but rather they are a fairy who assumed the body of a Bigfoot-like creature and then goes back into the fairy realm. Now, if you've watched True Violence, not True Violence, what was that story called? I'm sorry. What was the show called on HBO? True
Romance?
Blood.
True Blood.
Right? And it shows, I had never seen before in my life, before True Blood, how fairies go between the realms. Now, Dave, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you're listening to this and not seeing the video, you're not understanding what I'm about to see here.
Oh, okay.
Dave. So a couple of weeks ago,
yes,
I had the honor of flying to Europe, and I went to Scotland for 7 days, Dave. Yes, we could not take the girls with us. Sweet Tea just got to drink nonstop while I'm talking. That's a good idea.
She's just blowing bubbles.
But Dave,
Bubbles paid her though. That's okay.
It's fun. It's fun.
I took a vehicle all the way up far north to the tippy top, the Isle of Skye, up into the fairy pool area. And it felt extremely mystical. I don't know how to, other than that, you feel like you were in another place. And so if anybody that has gone there, I would love to see in the comments what you felt. If you haven't gone there, it's totally worth it. The Colonel would advise you if you get the opportunity to go. But I'm just saying, sometimes I believe, based upon others' research, that when you go into places and you see things that are there and then they're gone, where do they go? Do they go into another realm? Or do they go somewhere else, Dave?
Into the discount bin at Sam Goody.
Does that place still exist?
I don't know. Maybe it vanished into a realm, a fairy realm.
The Fae realm. Can we stop calling it Fae? All right.
No, that's what it's called. All right. We have one final story, and then we're going to do a little experiment together.
Okay.
Folks,
I've got this story, right, Dave? So back in my story.
Let me just do this real quick. I'm going to just put that microphone on mute for a second so we can get through this. For all of you watching the last few months that have complained that this show really is only 60 minutes long, you now see the missing link and how the show jumps from being a 60-minute program to close to 2 hours. It is one component and one component only. and it's
You're
named rhymes with
welcome.
Chachi. All right, let's get going. Here's an interesting story. Why? Because I say
Is it?
so. All right, get ready. All of you, listen. This is crazy. Is your consciousness just a hallucination? Here's a brain bender for you. What if everything you think is you, your thoughts, your memories, your sense of self, isn't real? According to a neuroscientist, Dr. Anil Seth, consciousness isn't some mystical spark or soul. It's a controlled hallucination your brain creates to help you survive. Your brain's locked inside your skull. It has no direct access to the outside world, and it gets all of this raw sensory signals, light, sound, touch, and it takes its best guess at what's really out there. The world that you see is just a projection. The you think you are is just another projection. Your body, your emotions, even your thoughts are all hallucinated, predicted, fabricated moment to moment by a system trying to make sense of chaos. I mean, I love this. This is so speaking to my heart. So if your entire reality is a neurological guess, what does that say about ghosts, visions, or spiritual contact? Are we tapping into something real or breaking through the boundaries of this constructed illusion? And if the self is just a brain trick, what exactly survives after death? This theory doesn't explain consciousness, it makes it even stranger. Maybe reality isn't what we think it is, and neither are we. So the next time you're laying in bed, eyes wide open in the dark, ask yourself, are you really awake? Or are you just hallucinating a version of being awake? Being You is the name of the book, A New Science of Consciousness. Anil Seth, the author. I am working diligently to get him on the show because, yes, I want to talk about this. This is amazing information. Now, when you talk about this, it's a very heady concept.
Yeah.
First of all, I look at myself on my screen and I think, that's the best projection I could come up with. I look like a thumb with a goatee and glasses. So I'm not sure that would be the conscious thing I would want to project, although maybe it is. Maybe it's the thing I project because it allows me to blend. I don't know.
Hey, Dave, I was able to contact tech support and get me off of mute. Somehow I had fallen into a mute situation.
Oh, yeah, we got that handled. Thank you, though.
I'm back.
So Dave.
Yes, right.
You know, I've always found it really interesting as far as how that works.
Mhm.
And we know that our eyes are not just lenses like a camera
Right.
to our soul. It's actually just, a way that we pick up this light reflecting off of stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then it goes to the back of our brain and we have to create this image. So we're not actually like seeing like a movie. Our brain is having to create what we experience, and we automatically assume this is spongy black thing, and we all agree that's what it is.
See, folks, this is when a real thinker, a neuroscientologist, scientist, not a Scientologist, puts forth in an effort
Tom Cruise?
as opposed to when Greg has been
He's
drinking.
never coming on now.
When Greg has been drinking and thinks he's tapped into that part of the universe. I like it, Greg. No, you're right. The things that we see and perceive, are they real or are they perceived that way because that is how we project them to be, which is what some people say about health. And there has been some work done by practitioners that tell you that we can remove the cancer by shifting your perception of health. And that sounds insane, but let me throw this out to you. Less than a year ago, our friend Chris Fleming was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer.
Yeah.
He was going to be dead within 6 months.
Yeah.
It progressed to a point that he was told he would have 2 weeks. It just so happens that when he was told that information, we were at a conference in Michigan, and we went up and led a prayer for him in front of 1,500 people. Within hours of that prayer, they ran a test on him that came back negative for the cancer that they were treating him for, that it had somehow flipped into a form of leukemia that was now treatable. That leukemia is now gone. So it does show that there is something to the concept of the construct of belief, I think. And it's an interesting element that if you believe people are praying for you, if you believe there is this groundswell of energy coming your way to purge things out of your shell, it might work. So again, I'm not asking for you to send me $2,000 so I can cure your cancer by praying it out of you, but my checking account number is 875-309.
Hold on.
But seriously,
Oh.
I think it's really an interesting concept, and that the things we do think about and project may be a reality all of itself.
And T looks like she's in the witch's lair.
Thank you.
Dave, do you think that if we were to do a event where the five of us were to get together at one place and we were all to be able to get not only ourselves, but the attendees to do ayahuasca?
Oh,
No,
Do you think that would clean up some of this?
no.
it might make it a little
But
messy.
so many people will end up pregnant. That's all I can say. So many.
Not me.
That's all being full circle, sweetie. Be careful.
All right.
I don't need to be because no, thank you.
That is it. I left you all with a head
I have
scratcher
another
there.
story, Dave.
Chachi, thank you for joining us tonight, buddy. It was good to catch up with you, and I hope we'll see you back here again soon.
Next week.
All right. Speaking of next week, let me remind you, next Monday is our live show with Scotty and Sarah. If you want to be a part of the live show and you have questions, we'll put you in. I'm going to send you a link so you can join us on air, and we will allow you to be part of that. All you have to do is email me, dave@paranormal60.com. dave@paranormal60.com. And some point next Monday, I will send you a link. And then you access that link, come in and join us. Have a good, strong internet connection, a good microphone, and a good camera. Yes, you must have your camera on to be a part of it, and you must have a good microphone. So if you'd like to be a part of that with medium Sarah Lemos,
Wow.
and Scotty Davis.
That was somebody's
Prediction.
name we've known for like 20 years.
I know. Sarah Lemos and Scotty Davis, if you want to be a part of that on Monday with me, email me, dave@paranormal60.com, and I will send you the link, and we will see you here Monday. Chachi, take care. We will see you again, hopefully very soon on the program. Paranormal Detective Greg Lawson, as always, my friend, thank you for being here and being part of the show. Tell people how they can listen to your podcast, Greg.
Hey, man, you can find me at theparanormaldetective.com and also 3gorillaspodcast.com. That's spelled out with letters, 3gorillaspodcast.com.
Fantastic. Sweet Tea, as always, a pleasure being in your presence. Yeah, please swallow the mouthful of alcohol.
Thank
that you had to
you.
get down in that last bit. And we will see you again soon, right here on the Paranormal 60 News. That just leaves us now together, folks. We did something the other night on the program. If you didn't get a chance to watch that episode, I'd highly recommend you go back and visit it. But I thought, for those of you that are into this, stay with us. For those of you that are not, thank you so much for letting us be a part of your world and sharing new ideologies and ideas and thoughts. I want to try to do things with my platform that help you to be better, to get better, to fortify your life, your soul, your body, your mind. And what we talked about last week or on Monday really kind of resonated with me in a way that I want to continue to help you. And if I can, let me hold your hand through this. So if you're listening to this on the day after audio podcast only, please don't close your eyes while driving your car. Come back to this or just visualize this while you're driving the car. But for all of you watching live right now or watching the replay, I want you to take a couple deep breaths. Deep cleansing breaths. Imagine within the vessel of your body, there is contained this black, inky smoke. And with every deep breath in, you breathe in beautiful, clean, refreshing air. And when you blow it out, that smoke leaves your body. And after 3 deep cleansing breaths, your body is devoid of all of that black smoke, all of the negativity that you've allowed in. And now that you've had those deep breaths, I want you to see your auric bubble, that light that is around you. And for those of you that are having a hard time visualizing that, just take a picture of yourself and draw a circle around it, kind of like you're seeing on the screen here. That is your bubble. That is your bubble of protection. And I want you right now to follow along with me as we say this. To the universe, to all things that are good, to God, Gaia, Mother Earth, I deflect negativity. I deflect all of the negative that comes my way. I do not allow it into my energy field. I deflect it back, and with it, I send empathy, love, and compassion, so that those that are sending negative thoughts, negative ideas to me, we stop that, we deflect it back to them, and with it, we compartmentalize and give them love, give them empathy, give them compassion and understanding. And then I want you to remember that this circle around you is now deflecting negativity only, but you're allowing it to be open so that we can accept love, so that you can accept kindness, that you can accept good ideas. I want you to see that coming through. So to the universe, please deflect all negativity coming in my direction. Send it back to those places that it is being sent from. Send it back with love, compassion, and empathy. But please remain open so that I can accept love, compassion, and empathy, good ideas, inspiration, collaboration with the universe, so that it can fortify my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul. And my little darklings, I hope that you take this into practice and start doing it on a regular basis. Maybe in the morning when you get up, maybe as you go to bed. Set this in motion. Build that mental muscle, because you're building your perceptions of the reality you live in. You don't have to be victimized by those out there. And I firmly believe everything I'm telling you right now. Deflect that negativity. Send it back, but send it back with love. Do not fill it with vile vinegar and anger and resentment and hatred. Deflect it back and send love, prayers, and good thoughts to wherever it's coming from. And then absorb and accept all good things that come your way, because you deserve it, my little darklings. I mean that from the very bottom of my soul. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening on the program. And so what have we learned tonight, darklings? That Shakespeare might still be haunting us. Ancient bloodlines can vanish without a trace. And cops in Wiltshire are getting real tired of your crop circle shenanigans. Meanwhile, Bigfoot's apparently camera shy, unless, of course, there's a free pre-roll in it for him. Oh, and if your psychic guarantees lottery numbers, the only future you'll see is your bank account quickly disappearing and depleting. And we don't want that for you. We don't want that for any of our friends. So please be aware of that. From ancient echoes to modern madness, it's just another perfectly weird week in the books. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and never trust a time mirror without reading the return policy. I'm Dave Schrader, and thank you for tuning in to the Paranormal 60 News.
It's Wednesday night, and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. It's just for paranormal freaks like me, with poltergeists and ghosts and blues and UAVs. You miss a word, you do a shot. It starts to snowball and we laugh a lot. It's just like drinking with your TV friends. I'll be passed out before tonight's show ends. Dreaming the aliens are taking me away. I'll go wake up till sometime late on Saturday. It's Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60 is on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Sweet tea, Chachi and the Colonel and the Paranormal Detective. All these traders copy and they all will be directed. He's got protective bracelets and some crazy magic tricks. Even Scully cannot save him from the voice of Stevie Nicks. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Now one day Dave might even put me on the show. Paranormal 60s on.